Good day, South Carolina colleagues. This is the fifth video in the 2024 School Report Card Simulator walkthrough, and the first dealing with high schools. This video will discuss the academic achievement and preparing for success indicators, which on the high school tab of the Report Card Simulator are the first two sections, here and here. We'll go ahead and begin with academic achievement, and to work through this section of the simulator, we'll want to consult with the accountability manual as well. In the 2023-24 accountability manual, I can go ahead and jump to the high school section of the academic achievement indicator. The first thing that I want to tend to is what students are included in the indicator. This is actually a bit more complex at the high school level than it is at the elementary and middle school level, because in elementary and middle schools we use end of grade assessments. All students are tested annually in grades 3 through 8 in those grade bands. In high school, inclusion in the indicator is based on enrollment in a course that is associated with an end of course exam, and so that's described here. Because you will be entering counts of students that fit in the various categories described by the indicator, you'll need to be clear on which students to count in which grouping. So consult with the accountability manual to determine which students are included in the indicator. Then, to get the numbers that you enter into the simulator, you'll need to count up the students according to the outcomes that they received on the exam that they took. At the high school level, the end of course exams are scored out of 5 possible achievement levels, ranging from A through F, and the alternate exam is scored on 4 achievement levels: exceeds, meets, emerging, and foundational. So now I'll need to enter the data into this section of the simulator for high school academic achievement, and I've prepared some sample data here that reflects the EOC scores earned by students who took the exam at this sample high school. Because the achievement levels are in alphabetical order, these scores are likely scores that I can directly copy and paste in. Now keep in mind that this section of the simulator will contain the count of students who score at these various levels, both on the EOC exam and on the alternate assessment. Because the alternate assessment is scored on 4 achievement levels, those students are only actually included in these counts, whereas because the EOC is scored at 5 achievement levels, there are students that will fall into this 5th cell. So we need to add students in based on their exam on the alternate exam. If at this high school, 1 student scored at the emerging level, that would raise this total to 16. And another student scored at the meets level on Algebra 1, that would change this total to 30. That brings us to the count of 100 students for each exam that we have in our sample data. And now I need to enter that these students were, that 1 student took the alternate exam for each assessment. Notice the current estimated points. Right now, all 100 students are being added in the denominator as having 4 possible points. When I add these students here, the simulator knows that those 2 students have a score out of 3 possible points. So it reduces the denominator of the fraction, which resulted in the score coming up slightly. Then we'll just need to transfer in the data for preparing for success, which works in the same way. Now that we've entered the data in the simulator, we can see that the estimated points and ratings have been calculated. Notice that the participation rate is being estimated based on the information entered in this section. Keep in mind that participation rate is calculated according to what's shown in the accountability manual, which states that if a student takes at least one of the assessments required of them in a reporting year, then they are considered a participant. So if one of these students took the Algebra 1 exam, or if this student took the English 2 exam, that student would be considered a participant, and the participation rate might actually be a bit higher. The participation rate is important, however, because the participation rate is going to be checked against the penalties that are associated with low participation in the accountability manual. So, for example, if we suddenly had 10 non-participants in Algebra 1, this participation rate drops below the 95% that's permitted, and the 5-point penalty will be applied to the rating points, in addition to these extra students also being averaged into the indicator as having earned no indicator points. Well, let's go ahead and correct that data as there was only one non-participant at this sample high school. This concludes the fifth video of the 2024 Report Card Simulator walkthrough, which dealt with high school academic achievement and preparing for success indicators. In the next video, we'll discuss the graduation rate, college and career readiness, and the high school student success indicator.